there, everybody. It's a beautiful day in the Lake region. My name is Len Schrader. Welcome to Hometown Happenings. You know, nature has its own way of telling us when spring is here. You know, it's just only a couple of weeks ago that we had a lot of snow and so forth. Well, spring has arrived and it has dusted off all that snow, and we now have prairie land to look at here at Hamden Slough today. With me right now is Mike Murphy, and he is the refuge manager right here at Hamden Slough.
Very
Mike,
nice to have you here.
Really nice to be here, and I think we have a very interesting topic today. And it is one of those things that I think a lot of people are aware of, but not too many people know a lot of the details of the prairie chicken.
Oh, the prairie chicken, yeah, that's
right.
A good one.
You know, I thought that we would come out here to Hamden Slough and really take a good look at what the prairie chicken is all about. And Raina earlier this week shot some film, and I think it is really very interesting. Tell us a little bit about the prairie chicken. I know for a fact, or maybe this isn't true, that it is on the endangered species list.
Well, that's a good question. It's not on the federal endangered species list, but it is a species of special concern on the state list, which means that they're managing it, they're working with it. The numbers are down, but they have hopes that if they protect enough area and do enough management with the prairie chickens, that their numbers will come up. And their numbers are up dramatically in the state of Minnesota.
And I do know that I think this next year, why they will be game as far as people will be able to shoot them this year, and that is a new thing, is it not?
Yeah, it's very new. Just this year was their first hunting of the prairie chickens in the state of Minnesota. 100 licenses were issued. That hunter could take 2 prairie chickens. So of a population of about 3,200 birds, they could take 200 of them. And I should say it wasn't so much that we have a large population, but the monies and revenues that were generated by those licenses go right into a program that's reinvested into the prairie chicken program to protect more areas and to enhance their numbers.
So for good reason, then, the bird is one that can be shot at.
Yeah, this is very much where a bird is generating money to protect itself, and it's a great opportunity for somebody to go out and learn about the prairie chickens. You learn nothing more. You probably learn no more about a bird than if you try and go out and hunt it. That'll teach you a lot about it. But it basically pays for much of the program to protect that bird.
You know, one thing that I really enjoy watching as far as the prairie chicken, and that is this season, which is the mating season.
Oh,
and as
yeah.
you can see right now, we have a little tussle between 2 of the males, and the male bird is very distinct other than the female bird. Why don't you describe both the male and the female bird?
I sure will. The prairie chicken display is one of the classic animal displays of the males demonstrating for each other and the female about their size, their strength, their colors, their characteristics, and the most successful and most aggressive male basically is the one that mates with the females. We have a prairie chicken blind, if you will, here on the refuge that 4 adults can sit in the early morning, and there'll be a colony of the prairie chickens in front of them. And at this point last year we had 51 prairie chickens. So far this year the highest number has been 31. But in the center of the birds will be your biggest and most aggressive males. They'll be stamping their feet, they'll be raising their feathers and showing these bright yellow and orange sacks. They'll be charging at each other, and occasionally they'll even put their spurs into each other, and in some cases this has resulted in either serious injury or death to the male prairie chickens. Now the females, of course, are just sitting in the grass,
relatively docile.
Very docile, and watching
like most females.
And then to the outside of the circle, or basically, is your very young, hopeful males who don't know how to quite do it right yet, and probably haven't gotten the size they need, and are really not a prime male yet. So they're just practicing on the outside rims, and you'll see them dancing and fighting, but not to the same degree that you see these powerful males in the center doing.
Isn't it amazing that even with birds there are arenas, and certainly the greatest gladiator usually wins?
That's very true, and we see that in many, many populations out here. The common golden-eyed duck right now, for instance, you'll have as many as 20 males around one female, and their display is the one who laughs the best gets the female. And they'll display for 45 minutes to an hour, and the female will swim off with the male that she's picking as the best male out of their display.
Mike, what do you do personally here to try to attract the prairie chicken? I know that that is one of the birds that you really do enjoy having and having people view them.
Well, Lynn, the prairie chickens are very well camouflaged during 9-10 months out of the year. They like heavy grass, they like some brush. Basically, they're going to stay in heavy cover and you're not going to see them very well. But during the spring, they like their colors to be seen by the other birds. And so they'll go to areas that have been plowed or areas that have been hayed or mowed, and so they can be seen long distances. Their sound carries, their colors can be seen, and they like to go to an area where the grass is down substantially because of a burn. Maybe cattle or buffalo have grazed it, maybe it's been mowed or hayed. And that's where you'll see the prairie chickens, and once they start coming to that site and successfully mating there, they go to that site year after year after year.
Let's follow that through, by the way, as far as the mating is concerned. How long before actually new life is there with the prairie chicken?
Well, the prairie chickens the females will put their nests roughly within a half mile of wherever their lek is, or this booming ground. This dancing ground is frequently called a lek. And many of the nests are within about a half mile, certainly not much more than a mile from that lek or that booming ground. The female will get a small depression in the ground. She'll put some feathers in there, some material litter. When I say litter, I'm talking about grass litter. And she'll sit on her eggs, lay her eggs, and sit on them for about 25 days. Now her young come out, and within a day or two, they're out feeding on their own. They don't sit in that nest for a long time. They're only in there a day or two, and then they're out finding insects on their own.
What a marvelous story. The prairie chicken really, truly is a favorite bird of mine, certainly. And I think
it
with
really
a lot
is
of
a
other
beautiful
people
bird.
as well.
And I would tell folks that the prairie chicken blind is only 10 miles from Detroit Lakes, and this is the closest colony of prairie chickens to Detroit Lakes. The next nearest colony is probably another 4 or 5 miles down the road, but this colony is just 10 miles from town. It's right on the refuge. It's an easy road to get to it. The blind is just 100 feet from or about 100 yards from the road, excuse me, and it's available to the public, and they can call us here at the refuge, and we're happy to give them time. Now, most of April's already well filled out, but there's always other years, and the prairie chickens we expect will still be out there.
You know, some of the other interesting footage that you're looking at right now is there are some beautiful geese here that also inhabit Hampden Slough. And certainly they are also a delightful bird to look at. And actually we saw some swan, didn't catch them on film, but then also you have the absolute grace of deer, and you're looking at them right now on film. And all of this working together, Mike, is really something to see. And you know, one of the things that I would just invite all of our friends out there that are in schools is ask your teacher to bring them to Hampden Slough and contact Mike Murphy. Mike, you might want to give a phone number right now.
I sure will. We're right outside of Audubon, and our number is 439-6319. Again, it's 439-6319. And we do have tour groups out here with kids. We have a lot of birders who come out in May and June. Many of the birders come out here and find species they haven't seen before, and many of them keep a list. And on the list, as soon as they see a bird they haven't seen before, they put on what's called their life list. I finally have seen this, and so they'll keep a life list, and maybe they've seen 400 species or 500 species. But we have a lot of people who come out here and they tell me, oh gosh, I've got 3 more birds that I've never seen before right here at Hampden Slough. And we consider that a very distinct privilege that we can do that.
Young or old, come on out here to Hampden Slough and visit with Mike Murphy. You will absolutely be delighted. And again, this has been our happening here at Hampden Slough. Thanks,
Thanks,
Mike.
Lynn. You bet.